2, this is your review for those of you who are watching, which hopefully is more than 2 viewers, or 3. Combined like terms, this one's simple enough, and I don't know how many of you are rearranging this. You can if you don't want to. So I'm going to rearrange it. I'm not going to circle anything. I'm just going to rearrange the like terms next to each other. Minus 34m plus 15 minus 76. Combine like terms. I'm going to combine these two. And negative 14k plus negative 23 is going to give me 47, it looks like, to 37. What am I doing? Shoot, no. Where did it go? Okay, there we go. So it's going to be negative 37. Okay. The m, there's nothing to combine. There's negative 34m. And positive 15 minus 76 is 15 plus negative 76. So there's definitely more negatives. And we're going to get 7 minus 1, negative 61. Okay. Next one, I have to remove the parentheses. So pretend there's a 1 there. So everything that's, remember, if it's negative, everything that's inside comes out as the opposite, right? Plus 14p plus k. Same thing with this second one. It's going to be negative 12k plus p. Combine, I will rearrange it. No h's, okay. Any p's? Yes, there's a 14p plus a p. And 2 k's here, okay? So let's take care of, well, this guy is not doing anything. Take care of this guy. It's 14p plus 1p is 15p, so that's easy. And this is 1p minus 12, 1k minus 12, so it's 1 minus 12 if you take out the variables, or 1 plus negative 12. And we get negative 11. Okay. This one, ooh, a lot of things happening here. So negative 23y minus 40w plus whatever that is, minus 24y, and then minus 36. Combine like terms, yes, we can combine. Let me put them together. Minus 24y, and then the plus 70 is going to move all the way to the end. So it's negative 23 minus 40 minus 24, so it's negative 23 plus negative 40 plus negative 24. So you're adding all these negatives together. So 787. So that's all going to be negative 80. From here all the way to here, it's going to be negative 87y. 70 minus 36 is more positive, so it's going to be a positive 34. Yeah? Okay. If you say so. Next one. This one is distributive property, but again, there's a lot of your exponents you have to be careful with. So negative times a negative is positive, so 8 to the 4th power. Again, this one is also going to be a positive. 5 times 2 is 10, and then AC, because those two variables are different. And it's going to be a negative, because the negative times a positive. 2 times 12 is 24. The A's are the same. Keep the base, add the exponents. Plus 18A4 minus 19C. So is there anything with an A4? Yes, there is. We got these two guys right here. 804 plus 18A4, and nothing else looks like our like terms. Right, so the only thing we got to change is this guy. So 18A4 plus 8A4 plus 18A4 is going to be 8 plus 18 is 26A4, and plus 10AC minus 24A6 minus 19C. Apply the distributive property. So basically you're dividing everything by 3, right? So it's 1/3 times 12. Think about it. It's 1/3 times 12. 1/3 times 45, 1/3 times 18, right? So it really means 12 divided by 3, 45 divided by 3, 18 divided by 3. So the first one is negative. 12 divided by 3 is 4m. Second one is negative and a negative. It's going to be 5 positive. 45 divided by 3 is 15w. Last one is negative and a positive, so it's negative, and 18 divided by 3 is 6. Ta-da! Finished. Now let me do the one at the bottom here. No, I thought I had a cup of tea. Okay. Let me do this one. So this one is going to be, if you think about it, if it was just 1/5, you would divide everything by 5. But since it's 4/5, you can think of it as divided by 5 and 10 times 4. Or if you like, you can multiply everything by 4, 4 times 20, and then divided by 5. 4 times 10 divided by 5. 4 times 5 divided by 5. So again, it's 4/5 times 20, 4/5 times 10, 4/5 times 5 at the end. So however you want it. You can multiply by 5 first, and then divide it by 10. Or you can divide it by 5 and multiply by 10, however you choose. So, 4 times 20 is 80, divided by 5 is 16, so it's going to be negative 16k. Minus 4 times 10 is 40, divided by 5 is 8. Minus last one, 4 times 5 is 20, divided by 5 is 4. Nothing to simplify. This one, negative and a positive, is a negative. We have two m's, so it's going to be m to the 4th n. Negative and a negative is a positive, and there's nothing in there that is the same. So just attach the w to the n. Negative and a negative is going to be a positive, and it's 2m cubed, but the n's are the same, so it's going to be n to the 5th. And finally, n, what do you call negative and a negative is another positive, and it's going to be 2 times 8 is 16, and the variable is nothing to do. Yeah. Oh, that's easy. So this one I'll do, let me do this one. Do you really want to use a ladder method? Yes, you should. So just because it makes life so much easier. So 18k minus 24c minus 16d minus 8. I'm going to use the highest number possible. In this case, it's 2. That can't be 2. 9k minus 12c minus 8d minus 4. Yikes, that is 2. All right, so I need your answer to be in this format. Okay, do not leave it just like this, because that's not the answer. This is the answer. Okay, that's work, and this is your answer. Okay, simple enough. Let me do the one at the bottom, because that doesn't have any, variables with exponents. So this one, likewise, if you did the ladder method, hopefully it's going to be bigger than 2. 16m minus 48k minus 32w plus 64. What is the highest number I can think of here? 16, yeah. So if I put 16, it becomes m minus 4k minus 2w plus 4. Yay. So it's going to be 16 parentheses m minus 4k minus 2w plus 4. And you can always double check to see if you get your original expression. Okay. Now, this one I'm going to do, fine, I'll do it 2 ways. So, make it bigger. I'm going to do this 2 ways. So the first way I'm going to do is 20a3 before 16a2b. The last one is 48a5b3. So I'm going to span each one. So 20 is 4 times 5. Right, or 2 times 2 times 5, A, 1, 2, 3, 4. 16 is 2, 4, 8, 16, 2 A's, and 1 B. 48, 6 times 8, okay, what's 48? 6 and 8, 2 and 3, 2 and 4, 2 and 2. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 2's, 2, 3, 4 2's, and 1, 3. 2, 4, 8, 16 times 3 is 48. So, you have to find a common, right? So let me change color. So the common would be one set of 2's. So I'm going to bring that down. Another set of 2's. 2 times 2. No 2's are in common again. No 5. 5 definitely doesn't show up in all 3 lines. Let's do the A's. Does A show up in every line? Oh, I forgot to do. Sorry. So here at the bottom we get A, B, B, B. So now we circle. So now as far as the A's, I got one set of A's, two set of A's. So it'll be AA. Any B's? Yes. One set of B. Oh, shoot. One set of B's. That is going to be my fellow on the outside. So if I do 2 times 2 is 4, 8 times 8 is 8 squared, and B. And then the inside is going to be, so if you look at the first line, what do I have left over? I have a leftover. It's a 5 left over, an A, and a B squared, right? Because there's 2 B's. Minus, I have 2 times 2 is 4, and that's all I have left over. And it's a minus again. The last line, I have 2 times 2, which is 4, times 3, which is 12. A to the third, B to the second. Yeah. Let's check. If you check, 4 times 5 is 20. Check. A to the third is A to the second times A to the third. Check. It's B times B to the second. Oh, this should have been B to the third, by the way. Sorry, B to the third, because there's 3 B's. 1, 2, 3. Is hence the check, right? B times B to the third is B to the fourth, because we add the exponents. Check. Next one, 4 times 4 is 16. A squared B. Check. And if I were to do this guy times the guy at the end, 4 times 12 is 48. Check. A second to A third is 8 fifths. Check. And B second is B third. Check. So we're good. What I'm hoping you can realize also, you can do all this thing, which is nice. Also, you can pull out, if you think about it, A to the second power is the smallest of all the A's in terms of exponent. So that will always come out. And out of the B's, we had B to the fourth, B to the third, and B. What is it that was outside? The smallest one. So that's another way of doing this without having to do all that, which is fine too. Okay, so let's see over here. No, it's not a great example, but maybe. If I were to do this, right, let me do it just that. I know 7 is the greatest Gromov factor, so it's going to be 7 times negative 2. That's going to give you negative 14. Oops, here's my mistake. What's in common in all three? 7 is in common, yeah? 14 is a multiple of 7, 21, and 28, and it's the biggest factor that goes in all three. As far as P goes, what is the smallest of the P's? P to the second, and that's the guy I'm going to take outside. Let's see how this works. Well, it's going to have to be a negative, so it's going to be a negative 2. 7 times negative 2 is negative 14. And P to the second, can I get that to be P to the third? By multiplying by a P. P to the second times P is P to the third. Minus 7 times what's 21 is 3. And P to the second, right? So I don't have to do any P's because that's the one it is. Not necessary. And then finally, plus 4. And this is P to the second. This needs to be, that last term needs to have a P to the seventh. P to the ninth, I'm sorry. But P to the ninth, in order to get P to the ninth, what do I multiply P to the second by? And multiply P to the second times P to the seventh. And you can always apply this distributive property to see if you get this guy over here. We're almost not done. Let's do this. So it's a solve and check. It's going to be plus 5, plus 5. So we get 2/3 A equals negative 7. We're going to multiply this by the reciprocal, right? Divide by 2/3 is the same thing as multiplying by 3 seconds. 3/2. Oh my god. So this all becomes 1, which is beautiful, and I want my variable all by itself. Over 1, nothing to simplify, negative 21 over 2. If I take that and check, I'm going to have 2/3 times A, which I know what it is now. It's negative 21 over 2, minus 5 equals negative 12. Let's see if that's true. Well, this 3 and this guy over here, it's going to be A 3 divided by 3 is 1, 21 divided by 3 is 7. These two will become 1 and 1, so 1 times 7 is negative 7, right? It's a negative, by the way, because this is a positive fraction, negative fraction. And then at the bottom, I'm left with 1, which I don't need to write. So I'm left with negative 7 minus 5 equals negative 12. And negative 7 minus 5 is indeed negative 12, which checks out as negative 12 on the other side. So over here, again, if you want to do that thing you did yesterday, story, you have a variable w, which is being divided by -4, subtracted by 18, and giving you -30. To find out what you have to do, the first thing you have to do is add 18, and then you're going to multiply by -4. So let's, oh, sorry, this is plus 18, and this should have been minus 18. So let's do minus 18 here, minus 18 here. These two become 0. I'm left with w over 4 equals -48, right? Because -30 minus 18 becomes -48. And then I'm told to multiply. Here I am, multiply by -4 on this side, and multiply by -4 on that side. Simplifies. Negative times a negative is a positive. I get w. 48 times -48 times -4 is positive again, and 48 times 4. 232 goes 3, 192. Let's see if that works out. Our check. This is what I have. All right. That's how my check starts. So I'm going to replace my w, so the minus sign is already existing. Plus 30 equals, plus 18 equals -2. So I got to figure out what 192 divided by 4 is. 4, 16, 32, it's going to be 48. So this becomes -48 plus 18 equals -30. And you can tell the -48 plus 18 is -30. So there's my check. Complete. So, again, I am going to I have a variable y, which is being multiplied by -8, then minus 50, and that equals 14. So therefore I have to add 50 and then divide both sides by -8. So let's get that show going. So first thing, plus 50. Plus 50. These two bye-bye. I'm left with -8y and 64 over here. Divide both sides by -8, right, by either coefficient. Becomes positive, and y equals -8. Nice, pretty. 14 equals -8y minus 50. Please copy your equation correctly before substituting. 14 equals -8 times -8 minus 50. 14 equals -8 times -8 is positive 64. 14 equals, and 64 minus 50 is 14. Check, 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 check. Yuck, who put the fraction here? Wait, no, not you. Okay, so, I can't change it to decimal. Would have loved, but I can't. So, again, I am going to do plus 2 1/4 over here, right? I'm going to do plus 2 1/4. So this is going to take a little work. So this is going to become 0 and 2i. And so I have to take that out. -1/3 plus 2 1/4. So I'm writing that horizontally. 3 4/3 negative plus 4 times 2 is 8. 9 over 4. It's not that bad. 12 negative plus 12 times 4, so it's 16 on top, times 3, so it's 27 on top. So it's going to be something over 12. And if you think about it, there's more positive, so at least our answer is positive. And difference between 27 and 16 is, I have no idea, is 9, 1, 11. So the answer is 11 over 12. Right? Now I have to divide both sides by 2. These two simplify to y. And 11 over 12 divided by 2 is the same thing as 11 over 12 times 1 over 2. And I don't like to write it like that, so I'm going to write it y equals 11 over 24. So that's our value for y. Let's see if that checks out. So I have -2 1/4 plus 2 times 11 over 24 equals -1/3. So I already substituted here. -2 1/4 plus, and this we're multiplying, so this becomes a 12, right? And this becomes 1. So that becomes 11 over 12. And let's see if that equals negative 1 and 1/3. This is 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 9 over 4 plus 11 over 12. I want to see if that equals to negative 1 and 1/3. LCM is 12 times 3 times 3 is going to be 27 plus 11 over 12 equals negative 1 and 1/3. Negative 27, so it's going to be something over 12, and you have more negatives, and you have 16 more negatives. Is that it? 16 more negatives? No. 27, 11. Yeah, you have 16 more negatives, so it's going to be negative 16 over 12. Is that the same thing as saying negative 1 and 1/3? Well, 12 goes to 16 one time. You have 4 left over 12, and that negative and 4 over 12, what we call simplifies to negative 1 and 1/3. So that's pretty easy to check. So plus 1.4 plus 1.4. This is bye-bye, so I'm down this is negative 0k equals 6.4 plus 1.4 is 7.8. I want to divide this by negative 0.3 and divide this by negative 0.3. I'm left with k, negative divided by negative. And then over here, 7.8 divided by 0.3. I can multiply both sides by 10. I get 3 over here, and I get 78 over here. 3 goes 7, 2, 6, 1, 26 times. Yeah? So k is going to be 26. Let's substitute. So k is 26, right? So let's substitute. Minus 0.3 times 26, is that equal 6.4? Yuck. Really? Did I do something wrong? It doesn't look like it's going to be 6.4. Yeah, there's something wrong here. No, I did wrong. 7.8 negative. Oh, this is supposed to be negative 26. Okay, so there we go. That's one less, and that's why we have a check. So it's negative 26. Erase. Now it makes sense. 1.4 times 0.3 times negative 26. Is that all equal to 6.4? Well, let's see what that is. So negative 1.4 minus, what's 0.3 times? So 26 times 0.3 is going to be 18, 7.8. Right? Negative 7.8, by the way. Negative 7.8. So I'm going to write negative 7.8 equals 6.4, and I'm going to change this to addition, right? So plus, and this becomes also plus. And 7.8 minus 1.4 is 6.4. Okay. Last question. All right, so I start by doing the inverse operation of subtraction, and I add 12 to both sides. I am left with negative k over 6 and negative 15 on each respective side, on each side. I will now multiply both sides by negative 6. By negative 6. On the left side, on the left side, my numerator of negative 6, and my denominator of negative 6 will simplify to 1. Will simplify to positive 1. On the right side, I will continue here. I will multiply negative 15 and negative 6 to get 90, positive 90. Okay, so my variable k is equal to 90. Am I doing something wrong? So I might actually want to do this problem out. So I get plus 12, plus 12. Did I do plus 12 on both sides? Oh, I forgot. So, this k over 6, and this is not negative 15. So if I do plus 12, I'm left with negative 3. I have to change that on each side, right? So, and if I multiply negative 3, which I should have, if I multiply negative 3, so it's negative 3 and negative 6, I get negative 18. Hang on a second. I got negative plus 12, I get negative 3. So I'm going to multiply negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 6, I get positive 18. Yeah, so I get positive 18. Positive 18. So my variable is equal to 18. Okay, so, and then in my substitution, I replace k with 18, okay, and replace k with 18. I divide negative 18, right, because it's going to be negative 18 and 6 to get negative 3. I will then add negative 3 and negative 12 to get the same value on the right side, which is negative 15. A little messy, but that's the idea. Okay. Bonus. I'm going to hide it in here. This is your bonus.